Greetings and a good merry Monday morning to everybody, including Ruby Hoove, who gifted Culture Casino membership. Thank you to the first Dragon Queen for the gifty this morning, the super duper chat. For all of you out there who are doing everything that you can to help, I appreciate it. We are growing by leaps and bounds. We are on our way to 50K, thanks to all of you. We have to promote the videos we've dropped in the last 48 hours. There have been two. Hopefully you've seen them both, including this morning's video talking about, well, this one shot that Wicked has. Because guess what? Just like one battle after another, there's not a lot of time that is available for this film to be as popular as it can be or earn as much money as it can, because it's in competition, stiff competition, with some very formidable foes, let's say. And I have a feeling that we're going to see not just hide, but hair of both of those in the very near future, considering Zootopia 2 is essentially out for people to see for now through the holiday. And this is going to be a big holiday weekend, folks. Going to be big indeed. We got another lovely gifty from our good friend Ruby Hoove saying, have a marvelous Monday, Culture and Culturians. Thank you for that. And the super duper $2 super chat, much appreciated. For those of you who are contributing on the videos, thank you for that. I've got a couple of super thanks in the last couple of days. And for those of you out there doing that, thank you very much. Those do help, especially since I'm going to start seeing some really interesting medical bills in the next few days. So I got to pay attention. Speaking of paying attention to things, I want to say a quick shout out and thank you to Daniel. Daniel, thank you so much. Or Daniela Pine, excuse me, Daniela Pine, 1994. Sorry about that. Saying I spent all weekend worried about the survival of movie theaters. Oh, I'm so sorry. Is there a chance for survival? Of course there is. If it looks dark constantly, there is actually. I think theaters are going to do what they did in the late 60s, early 70s. They're going to look at alternate ways to stay alive. You have to remember, it was always touch and go with theaters, even through the 50s. You can look back at shows like Mad Men that talk about the fact that they had to do closed circuit fights and things like that. So boxing card matches and things like that. So there is always a chance. I think there's a lot of reasons to look forward. And I think we have people in our very own midst, in our very own community, for lack of a better way to put it, like Mr. Stuckman and many others who are making their own material. And the more people we can get to make their own things, the better. Hey, look, if I get big enough that I can, host a show in a movie theater and have in-house guests along with, the ability to still do a live show, I think that speaks volumes to one of the many possibilities for theaters going forward. And even great films like Sisu 2, are getting quite a bit of a push from being in theaters. And with that, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in, and most of it's going to be about the cinema this last weekend. When you take a look at the enormous numbers that are coming out of a film like Wicked for Good, first of all, you can be impressed. Second of all, you can just be thankful. And third, you can just say, this was expected. All the records that are being broken and everything I talked about in the previous video, the last couple of days, everybody knew was going to happen. The problem is that it's for a limited time. And so that's the problem. Wicked for now. Wicked is number one for now. And it's number one for now because there's so much competition coming in, not because, it's going to be displaced by, one or two other things. Well, actually, technically, I guess that's true. But with all the records that were broken, of course, related to musicals specifically, I would say that this is going to get a third film. The rumors are out there. Check out WDW Pro, who's going to talk about it. And, of course, That Park Place. And, of course, the Geeks and Gamers website, who are going to talk about the third film. because according to the person that writes the music, they're going to be writing the songs. So there's that. Speaking of writing the songs, why does The Wizard of Oz still cast such a wicked spell? Well, because the original film was groundbreaking. They want to say that it beat back the patriarchy, so of course this article is baloney sausage, but they treated it so with such disdain, in my opinion, in this film, and they do in the musical as well, despite the fact that none of this other garbage, this fanfic, would exist without the original. I think this movie says an awful lot, and I think in all of its iterations, it continues to, even 75 years later. We've got Netflix Stranger Things, speaking of a different kind of a horse of a different color, dropping an action-packed final trailer for Season 5, pushing the theater experience as quite the opportunity, and rehabbing a particular star's reputation, which he desperately needed. So you can check that out. Get psyched if you're interested in the first part of the show's final season. The BBC received no less than 728 complaints about misusing Kate Middleton's correct title multiple times, 728 times as a matter of fact. And this is the least of their problems. The BBC is terrible for doing the right thing, and I think they're being called on the carpet for it in every way imaginable, including this. Speaking of imaginable things, I could imagine that the Saudis would be working with Parrot Analytics, and they are open to the bologna sausage that is peddled by companies like Parrot, which gives you a sentiment across social media measured in bologna sausage. And it looks like Qatar's nascent film committee is going to be using that for their Doha Film Festival, perhaps, and many other purposes as well. We've got Rachel Madcow setting her first new podcast at MS now. It's called Burn Order, and you should be, super excited to check that out on December 1st, which she's going to promise to provide as inaccurate information as she can muster. So sticking with her, with her jam, I would say. You got Paramount set spring release for James Cameron's Billie Eilish 3D concert film. I didn't know this was happening, nor did I care. I'm not excited in any way. Billie Eilish is not a talent. And, well, she's not interesting to me. And Cameron's kind of fallen by the wayside as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I guess Hit Me Hard and Hit and Soft is going to hit theaters in a way that nobody cares about. Trump opposes the FCC raising to 39% TV ownership because, well, it might enlarge the fake news, which he's right. And I don't have any I don't have any take on this other than Nexstar Tegna does deserve to be able to merge. I mean, we'll see what happens at the end of the day, but Trump's not for it. Meryl Streep, Dave Franco are jumping on Hoppers, the Pixar film that seems like it's going to be very old and very out of date by the time it gets to us. And I thought they'd already been a part of it. I could be wrong. The shutdown is over, but flights have resumed, and Thanksgiving travelers might wonder, what now? Well, you're likely going to get where you need to go when you need to go, and everything will be okay. Along with, I guess, other things like the price of Thanksgiving foods coming down, although it could cost more than last year. Although I would say if you go to, places like Walmart and others, they seem to be doing okay. In fact, Alphabet's having a massive rally this morning in the stock market, along with some lower end retailers as well, as they all kind of go for changes. Walmart is raising profit expectations as more Americans hunt for deals, not just there, but also at Target, which is under the microscope as well. Apparently, flying taxis are now a thing in China, so watch out when you are there. It could be a food delivery landing on your head. You don't know. And BBC leaders are facing lawmakers grilling over standards after Trump is threatening to sue them for billions, which, if they lost, which they could lose because they did publish a lot of lies, um, could cost them a lot of money. And again, hurt the credibility of the BBC, which has about zero. So the AP currently is mapping the election in France. The folks there that the establishment globalist douchebags don't want to win are looking like they're going to win, and that includes France's poorest areas. That's where Le Pen and her party is tracking very well against Macron, who nobody likes. Macron is kind of like Keir Starmer. Nobody enjoys him at all. So pretty excited for Le Pen to win France and try to turn around Europe and turn back the globalist douche canoes that are basically the WDEF. Um, there's was a bear attack. I need to get on screen right now so you guys can see. And the teachers have been called the true heroes who repelled a grizzly bear after an attack that injured 11 students. That's right. Two victims were in critical condition after teachers used pepper spray and a bear banger to repel the animal, who thought that, well, the students looked like lunch. Folks, bear awareness is for real. Whether you're in British Columbia, Canada, which is a real place, I'm told, or not, you probably or if you're out for any kind of a wild hike, wilderness hike, should be a little more aware than normal, considering the bears need 14,000 calories or more per day during this particular phase of their hungry time before they go to sleep. So hyperphagia, I believe it's called. You need to, be more bear aware. And these teachers thankfully were. And finally, just a little bonus time on the box office because people are worried about it. And I hope you don't remain worried. Things are going to go the right way. More films will come out that are interesting. And the ones that are interesting, as they make more money, other studios will be encouraged to make more interesting films and step away from the neo-Marxism that's been pushing people away for a long time. So, as you see here, the domestic weekend chart for November 21st, which I'm sure I'll talk about on other shows later today, had Wicked for Good at the top of it. Again, as expected, $150 million opening weekend. Still, I wanted more, thought it was possible to get more. I turned out to be wrong. But it's in 4,100 theaters, so it's not like it could have opened much wider. It also has the big screens, all the premium screens, all the large formats. And at, well, $150 million, it's going to be tough to beat. The problem is that it's in competition in the future with even more that's coming out yet. And I know that's hard to understand, but when Zootopia 2 comes out, that's real competition. And it's not competition for a short time, which is another problem with Wicked for Good. Let's take a deeper look at Wicked for Good. 150 million here in the States, 76 million international. That number is too low. International needs to be higher. It's not going to get much of a rise, but going into Thanksgiving, I would have hoped this would have been higher, over 100 million. It's not. This isn't a big blockbuster movie. There are not as many, wannabe theater kids internationally, I don't believe, as there are here in the North American markets. So 226 million, not only is that the apex, but it might be kind of it. There might be a little bit more available, and we'll talk about this more on multiple shows today, I imagine. But when I look at this, do I see anything over 800 million? No. Do you see anything over 800 million? I don't know. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what you guys think. But I can't imagine anybody out there thinking that this gets bigger or much bigger. I mean, this is kind of the one and done weekend. It's one of the reasons why I titled today's show what I did and titled the video that I did last night the way I did. If you look at it, there's not a lot else there. There's more films coming in the future. I mean, it's not just obviously Zootopia 2. You also have, James Cameron's, um, what do you call that? Conceit. His conceit by making a third Fern Gully movie that nobody wanted. That's going to make a little bit of money just because it's pretty. It's going to make more money in China, and that's the other thing. When you take a look at the animated film Zootopia 2 in China, early sales, those numbers are really high, which I talked about a little bit in that video. So it's pretty wild, to be fair. Ruby Hoove, thanks again, saying, have a marvelous Monday, Culture and Culturians. You too, dear. And of course, we got an amazing super chat from our good friend, Daniela Pine. I spent all weekend worried about survival of movie theaters. I think they're going to be fine, my friend. I truly, honestly, and really do. I really do. Okay. And I think there's plenty of room for hand drawn art. I want to say that out loud. In fact, I'm going to need to start commissioning hand drawn art for some of the stories that I want to tell. I have a comic book idea called The Hunters that I want to get out there. Um, I was playing with some writing tools this weekend and through something in Twitter and in X, I guess. I have a lot of other things that I need, a team for, including developing the gardening channel, which I'm going to start shooting B-roll and other footage for starting today. And hopefully now that we've stopped raining, I'll be able to show you some of the things I'm working on to get through a good winter of growth and hopefully help you guys grow some of your own food, not just through the winter, but also as we get into spring. There are a lot of crops that you plant early inside. You get them started early before you take them outside. You want them to have a little bit of an overwinter period of growth inside so that you gradually introduce them to the outside so you can be successful. We'll talk about that in the videos as I release them. And again, that will be on its own channel. That will also include the greenhouse construction. So you guys might be interested in that. So to all my Canadian friends, I hope I'm going to show you some stuff you can use up there. But if you live in a townhome, in an apartment, in a place that you don't think you have enough space to grow things, I'm going to show you you're wrong, because this person right here grew a garden on essentially a balcony on a townhouse. And I can tell you it can be done, and you can make yourself your own little miniature food forest that for even holidays like we're about to experience with Thanksgiving, you could have grown your own potatoes, your own sweet potatoes, and perhaps even your own berries, although probably not cranberries. Most balconies wouldn't take the weight of having a bog, but there certainly is a lot of things that you could do. So anyway, thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate that. We got another one here from Daniela Pine. Excuse me, but my name is Daniel Alpine. Okay, sorry, my friend, Daniel Alpine. And this is Lightning Sketch. Oh, it's Lightning Sketch. I should have figured, my friend. Thank you. And sorry about it. Daniel Pine. Sorry, Daniel. I'm glad I've said it correctly at least once. That'll help me remember. And I'll just say Lightning Sketch because, again, You're one of the people that I remember and I thank for trying to keep a positive light on this stuff. And you really should. I'm keeping a positive light on it, and you're largely one of the reasons. Because I do remember in the past when we were challenged by Hollywood about whether or not there would be theaters or not. And there are arguments being made for buying up theaters and rather than not being allowed to. I still think it's important for other people to own the theaters. And I think that it's one of the ways to make the business profitable. But that's just me. We've got another super duper chat from our good friend Cole Hauser. You should be checking out Cole Hauser for a Canadian $5. A raw, my friend. One of my Ara friends out there, praise Ara, says, "Hey brother, hope that you're glad. Hope that you're glad that you're back. I'm very thankful to be back with all of you again. My medical fight is not over, but we're winning. I'll know just by how much tomorrow. I have a little check in with the doctor." And I'll keep you all up to speed. But it doesn't come without your help, because if you've ever been to the hospital in a ambulance and stayed overnight in an emergency room or ICU or any super fun place like that, the bills show up later. And I'm just starting to see some bills. So I am grateful that I'm back. I'm grateful you're here, and I'm grateful for all the work you're doing. I tried to social media promote the heck out of what you were doing yesterday. And praise Ara, a real American hero. Thank you, Cole Hauser, for all you're doing, buddy. Much appreciated. Texas, 84 in the house saying, hey, have 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you. And to those of you who got them, thank you. Welcome to the membership, and I hope to see you here. I hope to see you using your membership and saying nice things in the chat and thanking wonderful people, of course, like Texas 84. Of course, we've got our good friend Randall Orser all the way from Canada. We've got a lot of great friends in Canada. We love our Canadians here. He gifted 10 Culture Casino memberships out there. So thank you so very much for that. Look at all those amazing folks like Hannibal Grimm, Kanan Barnes. Look at that. Look at the great names out there. Sean, we got the girl is here. Amazing. We needed the girl here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And many, many more. And of course, we've got Dan Funk in the house. We have a couple other super duper stars out there that keep their memberships hidden. So watch out. Meister P's in the house. Holy cow. And so is, let's take a look, our good friend, John Yulden, all the way from the UK, across the pond, in the place where politics are wild right now. You have so much corruption and foulness. I don't even know what to say, my friend. I feel so very bad for you. All my friends in the UK, Juliet, and everybody across the pond. I feel for you. I love you. I hope you get past this. I hope that, you end up with maybe a new king and some other things going on there, because you've got some silliness going on that's not very good. Not very good at all. All right, John? So saying just a super chat to wish you and everyone a good week, Culture. Have you been practicing your fake London accent? You wait. You invite me on a show here in the next few days, and all right, my friend, crikey, yeah, we'll definitely test out my fake London accent for all my mates out there. There you go. There you go. I have the same accent as what was that? Actress that went Angelina Jolie? I have the Angelina Jolie accent. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. It'll be great. Speaking of great, Barry the Music Man for another 2 Culture Casino cash says, "Hey, cutting back on super chats, but this one's for you." Thank you, Barry the Music Man. Much appreciated. I understand. And for those of you who are in the same position, remember, only give what you can. Even when people are in the direst of need, you can only give what you can. You can only help with what you can help with. So be very careful. Never put yourself in a giant hole. Um, that's not the point. So that's not the point. All right. Let's see. What else is happening out there? Let's see. We talked about Wicked for Good. Um, did anybody see it? I don't even know. Did you guys see it? Put on the Cockney accent, you wanker. Just you wait. Henry Higgins, just you wait. There you go. All right, then. Happy Christmas. Yeah. You have to say it like you're like wishing them to, get the flu or something. Happy Christmas. The heck? Crazy. Crazy stuff. Georgia Peach, good to see you, dear. Yeah. Just talk like Brian. I can't talk like Brian. Putin's cat. Look, if I could talk like Brian, man, I'd be rich. I'm sorry. Those blokes with the great accents, the girls love it. The girls love it. I can't talk like Brian. In case you didn't see, says Ms. Pitt Cafe, there were two members. Hang on. Two members super chats I didn't see, and thank you. This is why I love my wrenches. I have the best wrenches ever. Celebrate. 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 In fact, let's celebrate here with BH Samurai 2020 saying, hey, it's a month. A great place to hang out while I pretend to work. There you go. That's me. That's my job. My job, hang out, pretend to work. So thank you for that, HB Samurai. Indeed. And of course, the great and powerful Bruce Newhouse. What's up, buddy? Celebrating a long time, a month membership. Says hello from Love Ladies, Jersey Shore, New Jersey. Really? Sweet. I think that's cool. Hello from Love Ladies, Jersey Shore, New Jersey. There you go. You gotta love the ladies. Gotta love you madly. So yeah. I've been called a wanker. This is weird. All right, just you white. We do proper English here. Proper English here. Proper English here. There we go. All right. Couldn't figure out which button to push, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, it's a day. It is a day. It's a day. It's a day. It's a day. All right. Oof. We got so much going on. Do you realize how many stories are out there that nobody's covering yet? That's the rest of the day is going to be wall to wall stories. We've got stuff coming out of That Park Place. You got stuff coming out of Geeks and Gamers. You got stuff coming out of Cosmic Book News. I can't even begin to tell you how many stories are coming up. The Cameron stories are going to start to kind of filter out. You're going to start seeing more on the James Cameron stuff. That's kind of just the way his press cycle works, is they just kind of filter in, filter out. But the problem is that none of them are going to be like terribly like inspiring or things that people care about. So yeah, it's going to be very weird. And again, I'm not going to encourage anybody to bet against James Cameron, but I don't see the big numbers people are trying to pretend that we're going to see here. I just don't. Um, I'm looking at the Wicked film closing out around 800 million. It's not going to make a billion. That's going to bum out everybody at Comcast. I'm sure they're going to wig out. And I don't see Avatar and all of its fake blue people glory and CGI fest garbage. I don't see that thing over $1 billion. I think this will fall short. I mean, even if it lines up at $1 billion, it might still be disappointing. But I don't see it getting there. Nobody's hyped. Is there anybody that's going to be hyped? And as somebody mentions in the chat, Tobak mentions in the chat, who cares about Billie Eilish? Nobody I know. Most people think that chick looks like a dude. Not to mention the fact that does anybody want to see her in 3D? No. And why is James Cameron shooting a concert film about her? I don't know. I honestly, truly, really don't know. You ever feel like everything just kind of is falling apart all at once? Like whether it be the news media or like the narratives that we're supposed to be following. I mean, the UK's bailed out on all the narratives they were being sold. They're like, no, thank you. And it didn't help that X decided to put on display all the bologna sausage for where people were located that were supposedly telling you what they thought of, politics in the States. I don't really care if you're in Islamabad what you think about politics in the United States. You don't. You're silly. Go play with your politics. You've got some major problems. Go deal with that. So there's that. It's just we're in a weird place. Can I say that? Is that an official line I can say? Let's see who else is out there. Lots of good people. Putin's cat says Billie Eilish actually knows how music works, unlike many so-called singers. That's true. I mean, one of the things that they really do try to funnel you through when you happen to be talented in music is, well, they try to send you to theory classes and all kinds of other garbage. How do I know? I had a full ride scholarship to multiple universities that I did not take advantage of because I did not want to get pigeonholed into music because that's where they wanted to stick me. I loved performance. I did not want to be, you know, writing music uh properly, let's say. Um was properly trained, traditionally trained musician for sure. But yeah, I have a pretty wide background, folks. That's just part of it. Um and I had a lot of fun being a front man. True story. It was a lot of fun. I love singing. I loved being one of those theater kids I complain about today. I really did. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see. We've got Ham the Third saying so. Avatar lost me in the first film, um, and I could not see how there is 5 total films being done with this thin story and back playground plot. Yeah, I'm with you. You are not wrong. All you have to do is ride on the attraction that's in the theme park to realize just how thin the story is. There's nothing really to truly develop other than conflict, and they've got themselves in a weird place because now they're creating conflict on the planet between the quote unquote tribes, which is maybe not a conflict that Hollywood wants to see realized. There's a lot of garbage going on here, but that's just me. That's just me. Boonscat says you can not like someone, but no reason to go after their looks and full rage on them. I'm not sure I went full rage on her. Um, I really can't find her talent. Um, but that's okay. Some people like Billy, and that's okay. It's not a concert film I would go see. I don't enjoy the music, number one. So there's that. Um, I don't know what the appeal is. And believe it or not, with a lot of these rock stars, sometimes it's supposed to be physical. That's not my fault. That's how they're portrayed in the media. Um, and second, um, it's not something I would pay for. I think that's the most important thing. There are probably exactly 0 concert films I'd go see. I mean, one of the reasons I think that, the Springsteen film failed is he went after the people that lived in the parts of the country that he was supposedly representing, and they didn't really appreciate it, and they didn't go see his film, concert film or no. Deliver Me from Nowhere, right? Nobody saw that. Um, I think there's a lot of people out there that just won't go and see people who've attacked them, and I don't blame them. Hey, Stunt Brett, it's so great to see you, dear. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going good, and thank you. I wasn't actually telling you what I had in my background to impress anybody. It's one of the many paths forward in my life that I had opportunity. So let's see what else is out there. Toback says Culture's Time Machine to see how the music school would have turned out. He'd wear more guy liner than he currently does. That's actually quite true. Um, um, uh, man, there, like I said, there were a lot of roads not traveled in my life. I was blessed with a great many gifts. Let's say it that way. And the training, I was allowed the training required so I could pursue them. Um, and I stuck with the idea of computer stuff instead of music stuff. So there's that. Let's see who else is out there. Jazz vocal school for me. There you go. All the birds have been blue. They don't know what to do ever since you said goodbye to me. And the flowers in their gloom, they just refuse to bloom, 'cause they all want you back, you see. Naturally. There you go. I did that as part of a 4-part thing that I fronted. This is a pretty famous arrangement of Naturally. Jazz vocal school for me never wanted the traditional track. Yeah, exactly. Just wanted to be in the studio. Yep. Studio musician. Good chance to be with the people making it happen. Stage was fun, but didn't like self promotion. Now I'm old and no one cares how good I sing. That's true. But it's still fun to sing. I enjoy singing. So, Mr. Z, you and I are seemingly cut from a very similar cloth. That's good to know. Yep. A lot of people, I think, that kind of pass through music. I wrote a lot of music, wrote a ton. That was the only useful thing about music theory was arrangement. But, you know, It is what it is. Texas culture is reserved rage. That's actually true. I do tend to keep a lot of that inside. Toback says you made the right choice. You wouldn't be as cool as you are had you made the other choices. Tobak, I agree with you. I what's so fun is that I had friends who stayed in music and some who were successful and things like that. Um, but I've never ever longed to be in the position they were. Um, living in Seattle and some of the other places where they're now settled down. Um, I just I couldn't imagine living that life the way they did. And again, I mean, I know a lot of people like to saddle me with fantasy and stuff like that, but I'm not a drug guy, you know. And I wouldn't have fit in with a lot of the cultures that I would have been surrounded by. Um, the only place I would have been real comfortable would have been stage, and that would have been the only time I ever felt like myself. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing what I do with you guys. I get to talk to you every day. I guess technically this is a kind of performance or being on a stage or whatever, but it's I mean, technically, I guess my my dream job way back when probably would have just been a radio host, you know? That's a great song, by the way. Talk show host by Radiohead. Love that song. I can play it and sing it. That's one I can play on the guitar and sit here and sing at you. Anyway, it is what it is. L Bird's in the house. Good to see you, L. I'm a very strict movie rule. If you can't tell me the plot, I'm not going to see it. And I accept spoilers. No one could tell me Avatar's plot, so I skipped it. Evil corporation goes to a planet and steals the mineral unobtainium from the natives, mines it, makes a deal that doesn't help but only hurts the indigenous peoples. Um, yeah, I mean it's kind of it's convoluted but simple as far as that kind of movie plot goes. So yeah, there's that. Um, who else is out there in the world? Look at all these amazing people. Jill's out there. Good to see you. I love Mondays. I'm so grateful you're all here. Robert's good to see you. Look at all these great humans out there in the world. I love it. CC, Stunt Brat wants your PO box. Okay, it is Culture Casino or care of CO Culture Casino. It is PO Box 20307, and it is zip code 85277. Um, the postal station's at a private airport. So, yeah. And if that doesn't work, I'll get whatever it is. I'll take a picture of it, I guess. Something. I don't know. But you're more than welcome to send it to me. I need to put it on a couple of things, but and I gladly will accept wonderful surprises from y'all. I get them occasionally from others. I want to make sure everybody has the same place to send it. So it's a pretty decent PO box, and it's a great place because it's only a couple miles or so from the house, so you can just swing by the airport location and collect the mail. We got another super duper chat from our good friend John Yolden. He never invites me to come on anymore. He like sends me a feign invite. Ian does the same thing. Like I never get to hang out with Ian anymore. Whatever. Saying I always picture you performing on a stage and smashing guitar over like the Eastwood movie, Every Which Way But Loose. Yeah. Um, no. I really enjoyed um I really enjoyed passionate endings for sure, but usually mine were always sad. The songs that I really put the emphasis into, the performance into. Um, wouldn't it be great to light your guitar on fire like Jimi Hendrix or something? That'd be cool. But nah. So I guess Siegel is out. Hey, Siegel was great. Jonathan Livingston Siegel, you guys. There's a lot out there in the world. Look at all these wonderful people out there. We got James out there still writing away, right, James? You better be. You better be. You're a writer. Write every day. Now I know what I'm going to do with that 24-foot long anaconda. There you go. Hey, don't want none unless you got buns, hun. That's going to get me in trouble. Anyway, greetings, fellow Culturians, indeed. And thank you, Zen Wookie. Zen Wookie. Yep, the house in AZ right now. Dr. Richard James, what's up for 5 Culture Casino Cash? Says, just because I called you up, don't get me wrong, don't think you've got it made. I'm not in love, no, no. That's an old song. The beautiful deep bow, the beautiful deep bow. Good to see everybody. I love Mondays. Clint Eastwood is nice. I bet he is. To everyone, ask me out on City Heat. Really? Really? But he asks a lot of girls out. He is he's got a really cool reputation, but he is a no nonsense reputation in Hollywood. I wonder if that's true. I'd love to talk with you about that stuff, Brad. That would be great. Basic Instinct is a passionate ending. It really is. That poor bunny. 10cc, Barry the Music Man. But from the album 100cc, I believe. Pinochet's helicopter tours in the house says Hollywood should just go on another strike. Well, they're gonna. That's the other thing. Look, and I know I mentioned this just a few months ago, and I kind of had the conversation with Pro and a few others. You're going to hear me do this more and more frequently. Um, First of all, I'm going to disagree with them a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen me doing that with Pro lately, but going to disagree. Hey, Magnify, what's going on, Tom? We can see you. We need you, Tom. What's going on, buddy? Um, but we are going to see another strike. We are. Hollywood's going to have another strike. We are maybe 6 months away. So I think you're going to start to see some rumblings about another strike as we get closer and closer to summer. Maybe they don't go on strike till the end of the year. We'll see, the end of 2026. But this is going to start leaking down. And that's the worst possible thing that could happen to Hollywood. And to my friends who still work in Hollywood. I don't want you guys out of work. I really don't. Parents song. There you go, Texas. That's right. Yeah, I'm pretty old. I gotta get to hang out with my UK friends. Tom's out there doing everything he can everywhere. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being out there. And of course, Ms. Pick Cafe is doing everything possible. Culture Casino. Uh-oh. Commander Ed Streaker Shadow says, no Cuddles Casino as lead role. Uh, uh, Jesus's Permanent Dinner Theater Roadshow of Jesus Christ Superstar Show. First of all, there are multiple ballads in that particular musical that are near and dear to me. But I always felt a little bit off about it because it never felt like it was truly honoring the faith well. I'm a huge fan of the quality productions. Um, you know, um, that were done way back in the 70s and early 80s. Um, because they seemed to be their heart was in the right place, the production was in the right place, the spirit was in the right place, but yeah, very strange what happened later on. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to our good friend Tony Piacente out there. Good to see you, buddy. For 5 Culture Casino memberships gifted. Thank you for that. That helps bigly. Bigly. We're looking for 1,000. Oh, and by the way, this week we will be reinstituting the thank you for your attention to this matter, the podcast. It just won't be at the same times because I'm going to be dealing with doctor's appointments. So we're going to be navigating around that. And that'll be that. So, and I'll let you know what the results are. If you guys are interested in what my health actually is, I'm not going to hide that. So we got too many people hiding their health right now. I'm very worried about some people. So I'm not going to hide it from you. Let you know if things are good or bad or not so great. We got hello, Archer Merchant dropping a super duper chat. Thank you, my friend, for the $2 saying, rather watch Rental Family than Wicked. And I will. There you go. Rental Family seems to be a weird take on a new cultural situation. Please let me know what you think of that film, Archer. I'm very, very interested. Cat Slave's late to the party. I think you're on time. I think you're good. I think you're good. So, and the very lovely Stunt Brat. Sis Culture, did you know Jeff Fenholt, original Broadway cast of Jesus Christ Superstar, did not. Found Jesus song Hallelujah he wrote is amazing. Yeah, I did not know him. I met a lot of original performers. I I I got opportunity the time that I spent in California. It gave me access to an awful lot of performers for a long time, and kind of like some end arounds into talent pools and stuff. Um, it was a little weird then. Especially for roles like that kind of pass from stage to screen. So, yeah, long time ago. I don't know any foreign entities, Putin's cat. The most foreign person I know is John Yulden, who's from the UK. Most of the rest of y'all are in North America, Canada, all that. I do know some Australians, but they don't hang out as much. At least not this time of day. Yeah. Toback says, "Careful with this California end around, CC." Yeah, yeah. Um, it was I had an interesting. My life was interesting. Let's just put it that way. And I don't mind sharing with you guys. I'm having more fun, kind of breaking it down. It's the conversations about where Gary and I may have crossed paths a few times in our lives, and are very similar experiences. It's kind of funny. Um, uh, I didn't do any of the very radical things that he did. So jail was not an aspirational goal for me. So there's that. So Jill says, suddenly I feel very tired. It's probably me. I'm exhausted. Um, they still don't have my drugs right. Um, hopefully starting tomorrow, my blood pressure drugs will be right. So I don't set the high score anymore. So we'll have to see. Oh man, I'm getting bombed with messages. So anyway, yeah. I've lived in many places, cat slave. Some for long periods of time, some for short periods of time. Um, I've lived in the South. Uh, I can talk intelligently about various states, and how to live there successfully. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, um, it is what it is. But I loved I love SoCal. SoCal back in the days, so chill. I mean, you could be you'd be just hanging out with a group of people, singing around a campfire in the middle of the night, walk in from the beach into somebody's house and just flop on their sofa or whatever, and you'd be there for like 3 days. It was a different time back then. So uh there's that. And yeah. And as Putin's cat has pointed out, now I'm in in AZ. I'm in the East Valley in Arizona. Um, and the I guess the zip code tracks to that airport specifically. So there's that. So anyway, I don't know much else other than we got a lot going on. We got hey, look, the OC was great back in the day, guys. It's only recently that uh you know SoCal has become a problem. But regardless, we're going to go and check out my friends over at Midnight's Edge because they're still running a show over there, and I need to dial it down a little bit and maybe take a nap. I'm going to be around. We got a lot of other opportunities to chat with other people today. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's video. It might be even drop today. I have a lot to talk about. I don't know if you noticed, but Hollywood's literally scrambling to promote like the few good things that they have. And for those of you who are worried about Hollywood, that's what they're doing. I'm sorry. That's what you're going to see. The few good things they may have. And that also means that they are rapidly, if not they've already removed a lot of the garbage out of it because Hollywood knows what's wrong. They know what's broken. They know that the garbage isn't the selling point, and it's hurting them long term. It just is. So just keep that in mind. Um, so you're gonna see things like Zootopia 2, where they will have tried to extract the most amount of garbage out of it, and they may have done so successfully, as I said this morning in the video I dropped. This is going to be a conversation I'm going to have with Pro and others, I'm sure, tomorrow. Um, a lot of changes are coming around all the channels and all the show timings and everything. So just be aware. Certain shows will follow certain other shows. And tomorrow, after the 6 Minute Daily, we're going to run right over to Morning Magic, as we have been in the past. So, on that note, you guys are absolutely the best. I appreciate all of you and all of your support, especially since, I was down for like a full week. I still can't believe it. And if I do get a chance to take a nap, I'm going to sleep well. Thank you, my friends. On that note, if you are interested, keep an eye out, because the gardening channel will be launching, if not later today, tomorrow morning. And then we will go from there with that endeavor. And I got to shoot some B-roll, as a matter of fact. So on that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and thank you, Komagoan and Randall Orser and everybody out there. I really appreciate your support. And until next time, let's have a little bear dance before we get out of here. See ya.